This is gravel, well, in theory gravel, that they're putting on in a neighboring township. And this is absolutely miserable. This is a very poor excuse for gravel. You see a few rocks in here, but really you're getting a lot of sand. And you notice it's real dark. It's because they're not using clay for a binder, they're using silt. Now, this township has got a lot of problems anyway. Their operator, you see how he cuts down along these edges. Instead of going all the way out, he'd have to go clean out to here to get this road to drain. He keeps cutting down on the edge. So what happens is the water pools up, it runs along the edges until it finds a place where it can get off the road, and it washes out. Because this is sand. Underneath the base here is sand. But when I say you look at this gravel, and you look further down, that's good gravel that they had on here before they put this shit on here. This stuff can actually ruin a road. But further down, there's a couple of big holes in the shoulder of the road where the water, in trying to get off, found like a badger hole or a gopher hole and then just washed out. Big hole. You know, and this has been going on for years here. They haven't got the whole theory of getting the road to drain. They've never got that right. You know, but they've changed operators a lot. You know, they just really don't know what they're doing here. But, you know, that happens a lot on these township roads. But to leave that much of an edge, that's just causes you endless aggravation in the end. But putting this sand on top of what really is good gravel is going to ruin this road. This will be nothing but washboards. You know, the best you can hope for is a hard rain washes that sand up and fills in them secondary ditches that he's cut in here. But this is miserable stuff. But I've got a sample at home I was working on, and I'll show you what happens when you really look close at it. But this is the same outfit that has screwed people over for years. And then they kind of did a slippery thing for 2 or 3 years. They were buying gravel from somebody else that was pretty good gravel, or fair. And evidently, now they're back to making their own horrible brew. No, this is one of the, normally in good gravel you'll find this ochre. You know, it happens to be in good gravel. You know, it's the iron oxide. That's the first I've seen in any of theirs. So they might be buying, they've done this before, buying rock from somebody else to mix in with their sand. That's a shame. That's many thousands of dollars are going to be wasted on this, and they're going to screw up the road. Yeah, it's, you know, this same outfit has been in court so many times, being sued by people who, you know, they refuse to pay. You know, when you get this shit on there, you can't deal with this. If your township officers actually allow something like this to happen, they really need to be booted out of office. You can't have this happen. It's just a huge waste of money. That's a shame. Well, I'll show you that sample. I think I'll run down and show you. I'll take a couple of pictures down there where the holes are washed in the side of the road, and I'll show you why you don't want to cut secondary ditches. Here's one. You see it, you know, there's that secondary ditch. The water follows down, finds any hole, falls right in. Washes the sand, because it is, you can see it's just sand underneath. Washes it right out. But I'd like to drop the motorcycle into there. You know, they don't have any flags or anything up over it. You're just asking for a lawsuit. But. And there's another one just like it up here. Now this you can see, that's a pretty small hole, so that was probably a pocket gopher originally, or a regular gopher. But since the water can't leave the road, it comes down here. If it finds a hole, she's going. And now I'll show you where it drops down the hill up here, what happens when you have secondaries. Okay, since the water could not leave the road, it had to follow down. So it comes to this hill and chews it out a foot deep on either side. And now they're going to put that shit gravel on here. And that gravel is going to end up in that guy's backyard. Because they're just going to wash down that hill. That stuff is not going to stay. Yeah, that's something else. But we'll go home and show you what that sample looks like. Okay, I've been working with this sample. And I run it through my screens. Now this is everything over a ½ inch. Now there's some fractured in here. Some of that's just a lump of mud. But most of it is round rock. A round rock, especially of this size, is no good. It won't stay on the road. What you really want to see is fractured, and even that's a little big. Stuff like this, where you got a couple of edges to it. This you can get to bind down on the road. This big stuff is only good, like say on that hill where it washed out. You could do some good there with this. But that's very little, really, for the size of the sample. Now, over a quarter, there's even less. You know, that's pretty pitiful. And this is the kind of stuff that really does the brunt of the work on a road. All you have to do is be able to bind that stuff together. That's what you need. But you need about 4 times that much. What there's a lot of is this real fine gravel. It's like a sand, really. There's a lot of that stuff, and that is washboard making material. You know, this stuff never settles down. It takes a lot of clay to hold that in place. And there is a problem with that. But that's no good either. You know, you need the right combination of the right ingredients, and so far we got really very bad. Now, finer than that is this stuff. Again, a nightmare. It's a coarse sand, but will do nothing but make washboards. You know, like say around here, I've got this, which is blow sand. This is like a beach sand. You know, blow sand is bad enough, but this stuff is never going to settle down. You got to fight with it all the time. But it's like a play sand is what it is. You know, like somebody having a sandbox. It's no good for on roads. You know, a small amount of it, yes, but there again, proportion, it's all out of proportion. But what I did with this is I washed it, because I was trying to figure out what in the world he was trying to use for a binder. Because you have to have the real fine stuff for a binder. So I ran water through that stuff, and this is what came out. And there would have been more if I'd have washed those too. But this should be clay. But what this is silt. This is no kind of binder. You know, he's trying to get, by using this, to get the fine number up. So on paper it looks good. Or they're trying to get it accepted. But this is not, you know, if you look at the piece of paper and it says, oh, there's so many fines, yeah, but it's the wrong kind of fines. You know, this stuff, you hit this with water and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So you can have a sloppy road when it's wet. When it dries out, it's going to be nothing but washboards. But the silt, when it dries, it gets hard. So you can't cut the washboards out again. It's just you got to fight with this all the time. It's just a horrible example of what gravel should be. But like I say, that stuff, just from drying out, gets hard. You can't cut it. You just skip around on it. And there ain't near as much as there should. It should be clay, and there should be about twice as much in order to bind like this stuff, or even this. You know, you need a lot more clay in there. It's just a mess. It's just a horrible mess. I can't believe they're putting that crap on the road. Well, I shouldn't say it now. I put that crap on my road. But in this blow sand, it just makes no difference. This stuff will ruin a road, though. You got a good gravel road, and there's good gravel on that road. But you put this stuff on, there will not be. It's going to ruin that road. So they got it kind of screwed up already just from operator error, but this ain't going to help. Most of that's going to end up in that guy's backyard.